So that we're going to cover today at Qeystone are number one, building a presentation. Number word presentation mode. So when you're presenting your project, you won't use a mouse to find the next form that you're going to present on and click on it. It'd be clear like a slideshow, like you would in Excel or PowerPoint. We're going to go over using MSA data in Qeystone. And the fourth topic we'll be covering is adding forms to your project. These are all the different tools that we use. Qeystone calls them forms, but someone specifically asked for cause and effect matrix, and we'll show you a couple extras on top of that. Then the fifth item, in class you guys mentioned fill the IPO map, the MEA, and it not being, the columns not being wide enough for your data. So we will go over how to modify the forms so we can show the data columns. Okay. Starting off with building a presentation in Qeystone. We into Qeystone. Bottom of your project is the presentation. In here, have this presentation. To create a presentation for you. You needed to create more than one presentation, you could. If to do an executive summary and then detailed presentation for maybe. We'll start off with the default presentation in here. If you wanted to rename it, you could. Any you see text boxes, you can obviously them project C. Okay, so you can see over here I have a slide list. My first is project summary because I changed the title. There are a couple ways I can add slides. We do the presentation. I have a couple different options here. Click slide allows you to do a couple different templates on information that you can add to your presentation. The other option is if you go to slide. Say you add your Pareto chart, you drag, you click your chart, project manager left side of the screen. You click it and drag it to the center. To get it to the slide list, you have to drop it in the middle. And it brings over the entire of the chart. So now the whole in here, you can, when I click on it, it has resize options. So if I'll make it wider or shorter, I'd be able to do that. If I wanted to just have of my Pareto form, I click go to insert slide. Insert slide, I'm given templates. One of them is called title and tool slide. Title slide. Tool is the default. That's what we just did. So to insert a title, I start, and then the tool, I just double click here to go find the tool or the form that I have to insert into my version. So now header for that and then modify from here. The same way I did tool.
not want all of that, but maybe only wanted the chart?
So if you wanted the chart, what I would recommend is the title and picture slide, and then do Pareto chart. And then what I would do is go to the Pareto chart, the one that you copied from any tab, copy picture, presentation, and then put in there.
Okay, great.
So that different templates on inserting slides will help you. You know, we talked about adding bullet points. If you insert a picture or picture and want to add some text, summary over here, title, so that when we're going through our presentation, this is now a more neat and organized slide. Okay. Modification slide is very similar to PowerPoint. It's not going to be as thick and animated as PowerPoint, but be able to get your point across with the text, inserting tools, using insert slide, and just follow with input into your presentation. Okay. So with 6 slides and this kind of thing we're going to cover is presentation mode. Built your slides with all you've covered or that you've built with your project. Up here, all people in class kind of clicking through. Some people did this. Click from the drop down, and then did, you know. The way to do this is go to presentation. Which one that is? I did now. So many icons. There's like a light. Am I missing anyone?
Is it just the full screen mode right there? Takes presentation, I think.
Yeah. Oh. Make sure that you are on your first slide and your slide. Little icon, full screen mode, and presentation mode. And here, all we need to do is click with the mouse, and it will jump to your next slide. So on and so forth. So this thing that is with presentation, because one thing I saw, and I know that it's difficult Keystone in the beginning, you guys would look at your computer, you would click on something like this, to up your information, and then you would just stand by the computer locked to your mouse. So we want for the next, we can't do it for the next touch point, but for the next in-class meeting, guys to be up and move around a little bit more to engage your audience during presentation. And this presentation mode, clicking through it here, will allow you to let the audience read what's up, and you will be facing your audience and engage with them. Doesn't do a whole lot on sizing like that, but when you are working your slide, you can and play around with your the size of your slide, if you will, and modify it so that when you get into presentation mode, it's easier to view. So play around, your page width, whole page, and then knowing this of each one of them, so when you can jump to one there, so that when you're in presentation mode, it all looks good. Okay, I've been talking for a little now. I want to jump to some other stuff after this. Questions you guys have for presentations and building presentations? I feel like they have a good understanding on how to ensures and tools into presentation mode.
Yes.
Okay. Okay. So our goal is for everyone to have a present in the presentation Qeystone for the next in-class discussion in August. Since here for this meeting, I'd prefer if you guys had your presentations done for the next point. But I mean that is it's not all the way there. Understand it, but for the August meeting, we'll want everyone to have their project in the presentation mode so that it helps us with time management a little bit better.
Okay.
I'm glad people do voice in here and feel like I'm talking to quiet people or something. On to the next topic. MSA is simple. If you haven't done it already, it is out answer questions. So all this information comes from what you put in any tab. So your parameters, multiple appraisers, and again, you see the blue arrow. You can add like normal Qeystone stuff. If you have inspection, you put process tolerance in here. What I did for my example, boxes are typically blank. They'll come from many the session output. Graph is I pasted in from again from many tab. You'll probably raise this if you've done an MSA, and it will come up with your MSA numbers, so that you see if your processes you can track. That's the important part. Okay. The big thing with Qeystone Minitab or QSA is filling out the blanks that they give you. There's a lot of questions, things to fill out, but do your MS in tab to be really easy to populate. Okay. And have any questions? Go ahead, Joe.
Well, this is not a Qeystone question. It's just a general question. MSAs, do you really need to do one on, what would be attribute data? In my case, just counting the number of good roles versus bad roles.
So, what typically we run for people to do with attribute data is you can mirror your recording system. So, if there are bad roles on a certain day, and where are the 10 roles, who measured the 10 roles, and then what data system are they being recorded in, and measurement between those the systems. So, for example, on the project, it was on the how they find downtime. So much minutes here equal to 5 minutes there. It was between the two systems. So TinyTerm, I compared the down data in TinyTerm by operator and compared it to the downtime data and the report days by operator. And then once I compared those, I looked to see if there was any difference in reporting error.
And I understand that, but in my particular case, it would be on a given day they produced 1 roles, and the count of bad roles was 10. Now,
yep.
I mean, for redundancy purposes, I could have someone, double count that it was in fact 10 roles, but it's really doing for me, and if the number varies from one shift to another, that isn't an indication that I've got a measurement system problem, but just a difference in performance from one shift to another. What I'm doing is counting, and I'm not counting what would be a huge number or difficult to count, like beans. We're talking about counting larger items that are difficult to, that are easy to identify and count.
Yeah. Let me give you a call after this meeting.
Okay.
Because there will be some stuff that we can do for attribute agreement to ensure that the MSA is good and we're quantum correctly.
All right.
But you guys, I guess enough in Minitab the assistant up here. So when you go into assistant, MSA is the first one, and then in this guide, it helps you understand when to use what MSA, how to set it up. If in your MSA yet, doing set up the study with this help assistant is a lifesaver, because it will make calculating data and analyzing your data a lot easier. So use this. Once have filled out and gives you some results, plop in Qeystone, where some questions, and you put process data down here. So we didn't cover it in class, but MSA and Qeystone is very simple. You want to make sure you do it in Minitab to get your output information. Next is adding forms to your project. Include an item like if you want to do a second cause and effect matrix. Created your project, it gave a default grouping of DMAIC. Within each section, it gives different forms, such as IPO map and cause and effect matrix. Your IPO map, and you want to create a second one. What you right click, you have new, to create a new form, or as we call it sometimes, a new tool. Okay, in here we now have visible to all form templates that Qeystone offer. So I find the IPO map, I hit it, adds a, so I can also rename these. One on an extruder, and then on there. I could really be able to tell the difference between the two. Okay. I'm to select existing variables that I put in for my process map. Everything. Do a second cause and effect matrix. Click new form.
Yeah, tried it on the side. I see how it works, and I also see how you renamed it, so I'm cool.
Is from Cloudly, remember that value stream map was not option on the roadmap for manufacturing projects. You guys have a transactional project, I would recommend coming here in the measure phase and add stream map. Stream map, it gives options. You can do a blank one, 4/7 process. Even just a two value map, go ahead and 4 process because it's a lot easier to create from one than from a blank one. So we pick one like this one. And now it renames it because it doesn't like multiple same thing. So now it's a step value map. Okay. The other thing that I was mentioned earlier today that is we did talk about data in value map, where my cycle time, 5 minutes, I change over time of would be half a minute, and 2 operators. Okay. Thing is go to edit map calculations. We can look and see, oh, D per Qeystone says 8 hours per shift, 1 shift per day, 5 a week, 20 days in a month. So after total value stream is calculated, this time lead is based off of these variables. So if I'm in a 24-hour operation to do 3 a day, and that would change the calculation on tub time if we had something over lead time. So it would pull calculations. Okay. Positions on value map, adding forms, cause tricks, IPO to your product manager toolbar. All right. Okay. That was a question. Yes, that's questions. No, we're being recorded. Don't want to voice live on for eternity. Mine, which is sad. Anyway, let's move on to the next topic. Column widths up on IPO map and SA as an example. So in here, it's not Excel. I can't make it wider, but this says marking computer and what? And what does it say? I will. What? Right click. And I know knows how to do it. Yeah, here we go. So on that's an effect where your widths are not wide enough. Click your form to view, go to design mode. Okay. You are an editor of this, the background of this form. So I can change these cuts. I can change this larger. The things that I can do in mode. Okay. Insert a new data table. If I wanted to insert variables to be worded, I could do all of these things from the mode. Aren't administrators, so any changes that you make to your form will be on your form only. So if you create a new project, those changes won't stick. So if I make this process map activity column really wide, and then if you save this in the project, it would not be this wide. You would have to go remodify it if you wanted to. Send an admin. If I were to click save right now, it would save this template for everyone else's projects from here until someone overwrote my changes. So I'm not going to save this form, but you would do this form like you do any others, right? So you save up there, you close your little form. You would have a wider column for your process map activity. Okay. Is something where you go into view design mode, type page to look better, and something that people could benefit from, please know. Send me a shot, call, because I would want us to change that for everyone. Or one-time thing. Okay, I'm going to make a text box bigger. We can do all of this stuff from the mode. Okay, I'm going to close this. So, what other topics do you guys for Qeystone?
I think they're off and running for right now.
I have a question about MSAs in general, Matt, but I think I'm going to go ahead and look at the assistant in Minitab before I ask any questions of you. I might be able to get through it.
Yeah, I do, guys. I still use the assistant in Minitab. MSAs are tough because only you once for a project just to make sure your data is good, and then you move on. And you don't really think about them too much after. So variance in MSAs isn't great. Minitab assistant really helps. But if you guys have any questions, don't be afraid to come ask me.
Yeah, the same thing with the assistant, and I'll call you if I've got some other questions.
Okay, great, Joe. All right. One for one in today. I hope that you were able to gain some Qeystone knowledge and experience. And remember, with our touch point tomorrow morning, hopefully we'll get an update from each one of you guys on what the project is currently. If you have some time between now and then to put your project in presentation form, go do that. If you have any questions while doing so, please give me a call. Or I am on Jabber. There's ways to get a hold of me. So guys, I'll go ahead and let you guys go for the day. And
Thanks.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.
All right.